Then twice there was a strong reaction where really my hands and my whole face was covered with this rash. It's not painful, it's just itching, and you have to control yourself a lot not to scratch. And it's not really looking nice. And what normally happens is that you get this reaction several times, and then there's an immunization, so afterwards you don't get it anymore.
Or so she thought. Just breathing lacquer fumes during this interview triggered another reaction 2 days later. The first Emperor's workers had to expose themselves to lacquer. But why do 21st century researchers do it? Because they know that lacquer is the key to saving the colors of the Terracotta Warriors.
The problem is that the lacquer layer was embedded in the wet soil for 2,200 years.
As soon as excavation exposes the wet lacquer to air, its moisture begins to evaporate. As it dries out, the lacquer begins to shrink until it curls up and separates from the clay, taking the paint with it.
Finally, the lacquer layers just flake off in tiny flakes, and then there's no chance to bring them back to the terracotta.
The only solution is to somehow keep the drying lacquer attached to the terracotta by replacing its water with something else that won't evaporate. One group of German scientists has tried coating warrior fragments with a plastic used to seal underground water pipes, then bombarding the plastic with electron beams from a particle accelerator, which evaporate water and bond the plastic to the lacquer. But that can't be done by archaeologists in the field, who may have only minutes to save a painted warrior.
We hope that we will find a method that is simple and cheap, easy to apply during the excavation, and that helps to preserve the lacquer layers in the first moment.
If saving what's left of the Terracotta Warriors' colors seems hard, reconstructing what they originally looked like seems next to impossible. The only clues are faded fragments of terracotta, bits of paint found in soil, and old excavation reports. But now, visitors to a Munich museum can see what the Terracotta Warriors really looked like. After years of painstaking research, Katharina Bleinsdorf and her colleagues have painted 2 warrior replicas, as they believed they looked on the day they were finished over 2,000 years ago.
Many people were astonished or surprised because they didn't expect them to be so colorful. And some people were also really shocked because somehow they just liked the terracotta version, and they found it's kind of disturbing it or breaking it up. And they really asked me, are you really sure that it has to be like this? It's based on our findings, so we are pretty sure that this is true. And they just have to get used to it. And we tell them that, of course, we are not going to repaint the originals.
Seeing the warriors restored to their original colors is surprising enough. But the surprises don't end there. When they analyzed surviving color fragments, conservation experts made an unexpected discovery. One of those ancient colors wasn't like all the rest. Its name is Chinese purple, and it's so mysterious that halfway around the world at California's Stanford University, inside the synchrotron radiation light source, the world's most powerful X-ray machine, a team of scientists has focused a light 1 billion times brighter than the sun on a few flakes of Chinese purple, trying to find out exactly what they're made of.
Now actually we know we have the first concrete material evidence.
Zhe Liu, Apurva Mehta, and Nobumichi Tamura are all physicists, but they're trying to solve an archaeological mystery.
We're looking at one clamp of the Chinese purple pigments, and the size is around 50 microns. So it's about the cross-section of your hair. From very tiny sample, you can tell a very big story.
The big story starts with the fact that Chinese purple is one of only 2 entirely man-made colors produced anywhere in the world before the birth of Jesus. The other was Egyptian blue, created by chemists working for the pharaohs thousands of kilometers from China and centuries before the Silk Road opened up trade between China and the West.
People speculate there's a technology transfer from Egypt to China because of the similarity between those 2 materials, which is really significant in terms of technology development and communication between 2 civilizations.
The synchrotron light beam confirmed that Chinese purple and Egyptian blue shared all the same ingredients, with 2 exceptions. Egyptian blue contains calcium, but Chinese purple contains barium. And the Chinese also added something the Egyptians never used: lead oxide.
It indicates that the Chinese really actually invented the Chinese purple completely independently from the Egyptian. There was no technology transfers at all here.
And that told us that the technology they used for forming this material was very unique.
But if it wasn't brought from Egypt, how was Chinese purple invented? The team believes the answer isn't found in art or science, but in religion. This burial suit was made for a Chinese ruler who went to his grave not long after the Terracotta Warriors went to theirs. A suit made of thousands of pieces of jade. 2,000 years ago, the Chinese elite believed jade would magically make them immortal and paid alchemists to find a formula for making jade. The alchemists created a jade look-alike called Chinese glass, made with barium and lead, the 2 key ingredients of Chinese purple. As they searched for the secrets of immortality, did they also create Chinese purple? Chinese glass and Chinese purple had nearly identical compositions, and their apparent connection doesn't end there. About 250 AD, some 500 years after the Terracotta Warriors, China's religious beliefs began to change. People no longer buried themselves in jade to make their bodies immortal. Chinese glass disappeared. Chinese purple also disappeared at exactly the same time and was never made again. Stanford's synchrotron has shed its light on Chinese purple's sacred past. And across the United States, another powerful scientific tool has revealed Chinese purple's potential to make a better world. In Tallahassee, Florida, scientists have discovered that the Terracotta Warriors' purple paint is much more than just a beautiful color. A discovery made here at the National High Magnetic Field Laboratory, home of the 45T hybrid, the world's most powerful magnet, packing 45 Teslas of magnetic force. Facility Director Eric Palm has a simple way of showing what 45 Teslas can do.
If I take this steel washer closer to the magnet, you can see that it will be pulled and attracted to the magnet. I believe that the stored energy is about 20 sticks of dynamite. It's dangerous enough that we don't typically allow people to that have not been trained to be around the magnet. We don't allow people to bring tours where they can see the magnet just in case something bad happens.
A chance many might not care to take. But scientists from around the world, like Suchitra Sebastian of Cambridge University, sign up for magnet time year after year.
We have to be really careful not to have anything magnetic several feet within the magnet. This could be actually fatal because we've seen what could happen if just a tiny wrench is let loose you just actually feel it being ripped out of your hand and being literally sucked into the magnet. And this is crucial because if you were to be holding something like a large spanner or something like a chair, if a steel chair happened, it could literally kill someone if they were standing in its way.
So what draws scientists like a magnet, to the 45T hybrid? Simply this. If you load just about any material on Earth into this magnet's core, and then pump in liquid helium to cool it down to hundreds of degrees below zero, the 45T hybrid's power will force that material to reveal its secrets. In 2006, Suchitra Sebastian and Neil Harrison put a few flakes of Chinese purple into the magnet's core and saw things never seen before. Inside the magnet, the molecules of Chinese purple became a single magnetic wave. The team dropped the temperature even further, and the magnetic wave lost its third dimension, separating into individual two-dimensional planes.
Well, when I first saw this, I guess we were just in disbelief. It was a complete surprise. I mean, it was a totally new type of discovery.
A discovery that might change the world. Because studying shifts from 3 to 2 dimensions could help make better superconductors. And better superconductors could mean more efficient magnetic trains, lower electricity bills, and faster computers.
It's incredible to think that this material that's been around for more than 2,000 years, that was initially discovered and in fact created by Chinese chemists and has been on this terracotta army for 2,000 years. It's incredible to think that we've revisited this material, something that's a fundamental advance in our understanding, in our 21st century knowledge of physics, and that's just mind-blowing.
What other new secrets might still be hidden within this ancient army of clay? Over 2,000 years ago, the Terracotta Warriors were an emperor's vision and a brilliant technological achievement. Today, science is revealing just how brilliant that achievement really was, and making us wonder if all we've learned